Good morning, afternoon and evening, my crazies, and my name's Angela and I'm the Crazy Poppy Lady. Right, so what have we got up for you this week? Right, okay, first one is the mystery cow. It's coming along nicely. I'm over halfway through. The first video is made up. I'm trying not to put it into too many videos this time round, so not the 4 but possibly the 2. And so at the moment the row counts is the first video goes up to 39 rows. Now the pattern itself is 83 rows, but just like the unicorn, a certain amount of the last rows are all the same colour, so they'll be squished together. So of course I can't wait to get that out to you. We're looking at Tuesday for that one, just so it gives me a bit more of a chance to carry on going and get the second video out the following week. Right, so yeah, that's pretty much it for that one. So what have I made this week? As some of you will have already seen on Instagram, I did actually put a picture up because I was quite chuffed that I'd finished this little guy on the 11th. No. Right, so I made this little guy. Here he is here. It's my little palace guard. Now, I managed to finish him off on the 11th. So of course I was really happy. I'd actually hoped to make 3 or 4 of them so that I could sort of sell them prior to the 11th and stick the money in the pot, but of course due to arm and hand that didn't happen. Pants. But the details for this little guy, sorry, I'm reading it off my book because my brain's going to sleep. So I got the pattern for him from the issue 121 of Inside Crochet. Now it is written in English, not American terms, and the details for you to be able to purchase the pattern and the book, which you can get in a digital download, are on the previous video, which I'll pop a link up above. Now the pattern was created by Matt Farsi. I will write his name down below. Yeah, so the pattern itself was really quite nice to work with, very simple. It doesn't include his cheeky nose or his little mouth, but the rest of it is pretty much the same. Now differences of course are his nose, his mouth, and the fact that I crocheted in his arms as I was working up the body rather than sewing them on, because I find it's neater, especially if the arms are flat and you're not stuffing them. Another difference between the top and the bottom is the black. Now I don't know if you can actually make that out because it's black, but the black I'd done normally for the hat, but I noticed that there was little gapping. If I do that, no, you're not going to see it, but you can sometimes see the stuffing when you're working with black. Now the reason I've found is that it doesn't matter what brand of yarn I'm using, it seems that the black is always slightly thinner than the rest of the colours. So what I actually did was, because this pattern starts at the top and works its way down, when I got to the legs I thought, no, I'm not having this because the gaps were too big, because of course you need to put a decent amount of stuffing in it, didn't you? So I actually doubled up with the yarn but stayed with the same hook size. So it was a little bit tight and a little bit obnoxious when working it, but it meant then that he had a solid black leg rather than having black leg with dots on, like the groom is that I'm making at the moment. So I'm going to cut his legs off and start again. Yeah, but getting back to my soldier, my palace guard, I think he was absolutely cute. The main aggravation I had was with the legs, and was also with the joining of the second leg, because with the base of this you work round for a couple of rounds and then you cut the round count in half to build your first leg, and then you go on, pick it up again and then work your second leg. But of course, because I was working with the double yarn with black and my eyes don't like plain, I found it quite difficult. So and not only that, the first time round I'd swapped yarns back by mistake. I'd swap yarns, and the yarn that I'd been working with previously was only a not even a 2-weight, I suppose. I picked it up by mistake, doubled it up, thought nothing of it and worked it. So he ended up with a normal size leg and then a leg that sort of stopped about 2/3 down, and was really skinny, so it got chopped off and I started again and then again. So that's his third attempt on his leg, and that's it now. He's fine. I like him, so he's staying. But so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop a picture up in a second which shows him a bit closer and in a bit more detail. And I know I'm going to get comments about, oh, isn't he so cute? And it's aimed at Liam, not at the stuffy. Right, let's move on to the next item, which is your pictures. Now, I've only got one this week, and that is from Julie Hansford. But do you know what, Julie? I am so chuffed with it. It turns out that this is Julie's very first C2C. And not only is it her very first C2C, but she hasn't actually been crocheting a great deal of time in the big scheme of things. Yeah, so Julie has only been crocheting for just shy of 6 months, which to me is brilliant because she's done an absolutely amazing job on her very first corner to corner with a picture, and I'm in shock. So keep going, girl. On to the next one, bigger and better. The only negative thing I can actually say about it, Julie, is that you need to make another one. You've got 2 kids, they're going to argue. You can't have them arguing. You're just going to have to make another one and change up the colours. Or see what the Christmas Carol is once you finished it. Maybe one of the girls would like that instead. But yeah, I am a little bit evil with this comment, am I? Right, so let's do a bit of a video recap for the week. This week I managed to get you out 3. So first up was the Aldi Craft Event 2020. That showed you some of the items that they had online that you could order online, and the ones that they were forcing you to go shopping for. So yeah, what can I say about that? Put it all online, you donuts. Right, next up was the yarn unboxing, the new yarn that Good Vibes Yarn had managed to get in. I loved the yarn. I loved the stuff that she sent through for us to have a nose at. And so if you want to have a nose at that one, the links will be above and below. And then the last one out was my very last knitting magazine collection. It was Designer Knitting, Let's Knit, and the Knit Today magazines. Now I got these in a big bundle of magazines that had crochet ones included with it. They have now, the knitting ones have now pretty much been rehomed, or they've been earmarked to be sent out to be rehomed. But I thought I would show you them anyway because I know some of you like knitting. I can't do it. I've got 1 stitch, and last time I did it was 20 years ago, so no, I'm sticking to my crochet. Right, so that is it for the videos. Right, puppy update. Right, so in our local area, as you all know, we have got a nature reserve which is a stone's throw away from the house, so it's absolutely brilliant to let Liam off and he runs around, and there's a little stream. And it's really lovely for him because there's a lot of smells and a lot of people with their dogs go over, so there's a lot of dog interaction as well. So of course we've been using that a lot more often than the local field where other people take the dogs normally, just solely because we're only out for the hour rather than a couple of hours. So it gives him quite a lot of stimulation in quite a short time. So new rulings are coming from the nature reserve. Dog owners can now take their dogs over there, but they have to keep them on a lead, and it can't be a long lead. And I think it's down to the fact that there have been a couple of attacks on the sheep. So I can understand that they're helping the farmer out, but he's due to move. He's moving his sheep soon, so like onto a different pasture. So we're actually hoping that they lift the ban, but the ban is now turned into a no off lead time, and they're not allowed in any of the waterways. like, 'cause there's a couple of stinky ponds, and then there's a fresh running stream. So if the dog jumped into the stinky pond, which we know he does, he would then get frog marched round to the clean area where the stream was running, so he could be cleaned off. But he's not allowed to do that now, so there's no meeting up with his mates over there to play and let off a bit of steam, which is a bit unfair on him, really. So I've had to work out a different method to give him a bit of extra exercise. Okay, but I take him down to the local field where he's still allowed off, but it's only the one, and it's very staggered times with other people turning up. You never quite know who's going to be there, which is good because it means he gets to mix with lots of other dogs at different times of the day. There's normally someone there for him to play with. Well, one of my girls up the road, I've known her for quite a while now. She's got a husky puppy. Well, she's not quite a puppy anymore, but when Liam first met her, she was a puppy and he could dominate the play. Well, of course, they've had 6 months of not seeing each other, and at this point our beautiful husky has doubled in size, and now she dominates the play, which freaks him out, but it is so funny to watch. Now, of course, we've gone back into lockdown in the UK, and whether you see it as lucky, unlucky or not, my family live too far away for me to pod with them. So me and my neighbour have discussed it, and we are podding together. So we're turning ourselves into a extended family group, really, which means then that we get to have a cup of coffee together and the dogs get to play. So for us, it's an absolute dream. So last week she got dropped off, and because her owner had a couple of things to do, so she dropped her off, and they had their mad 5 minutes out in the garden, chilled out. I bribed them. Absolutely had to bribe them first time in, because she's never really been into the house in the last 6 months. She was overexcited, so it was a case of she comes in and I bribe her to keep her calm. After about 5 minutes she was perfectly fine, and the pair of them were just chilling out. Second time she comes around, she comes straight in through the front door, no problems at all, says hello to Liam, and they go off bombing around the garden, thoroughly enjoying themselves. 5 minutes later he comes in and hides. She's wearing him out. But they were backwards and forwards in and out of the garden, being absolute lunatics. It was absolutely cool to play, cool to watch them play. So I'll pop a couple of pictures up that I took. I'm sorry I haven't got any videos yet, but that'll probably be next week, when me and her other owner decide to stop laughing and actually start recording. Right, I'm going to head off now. I want to get back to recording the mystery cow for you all. So I'm going to head off now. I will see you all soon. If you can please stay in, definitely stay safe, alright? So ta-ra for now, everyone.